Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. As always, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Seriously, thank you to everybody who watches my videos. There is so many people doing exactly what I do on YouTube, talking about horror, so I appreciate that you guys stop by and watch my silly little videos. So I don't know what really prompted me to say that, but I just really appreciate each and every one of you who watch my videos, so thank you. Now let's get on to the episode. Now, if you guys caught my review for episode 3, you guys know that I was not the biggest fan of episode 3. I felt it was a little bit of a step back. I felt it was a little bit of a speed bump in the momentum of the show. Episode 4, that is not the case. The show redeemed itself for me. I still don't love all the characters. I'm still not the biggest fan of Jake, but we get some great Chucky moments here. And let's be honest, we're all here for Chucky. He's the best part of the show. Whenever he appears on screen, he's the highlight. He steals the show. That's why we're here. And we do get some good Chucky moments. Let's go ahead and dive into all the big events that happen in episode 4. Now, in this episode, we have a lot going on. We pretty much pick up from the final moments of episode 3. We have a lot of things going on in the hospital. We have Lexi and Jake going on their own little missions. We have the detective shaking down Jake. We have drama between the parents. We have all kinds of crazy shit going on. But let's start at the beginning. We pretty much pick up right where the episode left off. All the kids who are in this party as the house caught on fire are all in the hospital with different degrees of severity as far as their injuries. Junior's in pretty bad shape. Lexi's sister seems to be in the worst shape. Well, I guess Oliver is in the worst shape because he's dead. And now the detective has figured out that he didn't die in the fire, but he actually died from multiple stab wounds. So now the cat's out of the bag as far as him being murdered. There's yet another murder in the town, further pushing, the detective to be more and more suspicious of Jake. Lexi now knows everything. The cat is out of the bag as far as Chucky being an evil killer doll. She now knows, but she also knows that pretty much nobody will believe her. Her and Jake have a lot of work to do as far as working out their differences, but Lexi's sister is in really bad shape, and now her parents are pretty much blaming her for this entire situation, just as she has kind of made some points with them in the previous episode. It all came crashing down again, and I found myself honestly feeling kind of bad for Lexi a couple times in this episode. I had a feeling they would try to redeem her character a little bit, and they kind of do. And the cat's out of the bag as far as Oliver being stabbed by the detective, starting to let people know what happened, which is stirring up a lot of shit even between the parents, as Junior's parents and Lexi's parents, their dads come to blows. And this is a high profile case, being this is the mayor's mansion, so the whole town is now going to be freaked out about some serial killer on the loose. We also have in this episode a couple flashback scenes going even deeper into Charles Lee Ray's upbringing, this time in the boys' home that he was at after, of course, his parents are both dead now. Ends up being disrespected by a janitor after he mops over his shoes and just kills this poor bastard. And even a sicker move, shows the dead body to all these little kids from the boys' home, even seeing maybe a possible protege in one of the kids and handing over the guy's severed hand as a gift. They were very obvious in saying the first and last name of this character. Now, I don't know if I just don't remember this character's name from previous movies or anything. I think he's a new character. You guys can let me know, but they said his name very prominently, so I imagine we'll be hearing from whoever this person was who received the hand. Also, the practical effects were pretty damn good as far as the throat slit, and the hand looked pretty good. That kid was playing with the maggots on that guy's neck. It was pretty disgusting, but I love the practical effects, so that was awesome. And then we have a big scene that takes place when Jake and Lexi both go back to her parents' mansion looking for Chucky to hopefully locate him before he commits even more murder. And we have a bunch of crazy shit that happens in here, but ultimately we finally have Jake sort of exploding at Lexi and finally giving her all the business about basically telling her you can't be a horrific person and terrorize kids and have everything be okay. Apparently she didn't know that, but in the heat of this big argument of him telling her basically stop being a bitch to everybody, she falls down as Jake catches her, and this is finally when we get the first reveal of Chucky in this episode in all of his burned and melting glory. Chucky looks amazing in this episode. Probably it may be my favorite Chucky look of all time. This super burned face as he's melting, his eyes drooping. It looks fantastic. In these moments as Jake's holding Lexi in the air above Chucky for what is a really long time as Chucky delivers this speech about trying to push him to further be a murderer, Jake ultimately decides that being a killer isn't for him, and he saves Lexi's life, sort of redeeming her character, or at least starting her redemption arc in the show. Immediately following this, a detective shows up for some reason to take this doll back to Lexi's sister. This scene, in my opinion, although it was cool seeing Chucky, and of course he sits down like nothing happened before he's seen holding a knife, it was just a little ridiculous that that detective or whoever that was would show up at the house, see those kids there, say, hey, I'm just here for the doll, grab the doll and say, okay, bye. It was just a little weird. Like, that place is a major crime scene that would have been surrounded by cops. So it was a little weird, first of all, that they were able to gain access, and then also that the detective just came in there for the purpose of just grabbing that doll and leaving, but whatever. We needed that doll to go back to the hospital because that's when we get this amazing kill. Guys, I love this kill. That terrible Oliver kill that I was bitching about in the last episode review finally redeemed itself in this one with this amazing kill. Chucky tossing a scalpel into this dude's spine and then stabbing him repeatedly with all of these different cocktails of syringes. This does not look good. The cop is just bleeding from everywhere, including his fingernails. I'm not quite sure how that would happen. I guess the cocktail of drugs made him bleed out of his fingernails, but never mind that. It was an amazing kill. I loved it. We then have the detective giving Jake this super intense interrogation, scaring the shit out of him. And right in the final moments, as it looks as if Jake is going to sort of spill the beans, at least on Chucky. Not that anybody would believe him, but right before that moment, Chucky pulls the plug on Lexi's little sister, causes a bit of chaos, and that's when they discover the cops, which comes right at the nick of time as Jake's about to spill the beans on Chucky. What a great moment. And then we end up on just this amazing closing shot of Chucky flipping off Lexi and Jake. It was amazing. We get a full look at that melted face, which is just incredible. So I guess for the rest of the show, we have this amazing melted Chucky look. So I hope they come out with a melted Chucky series doll, because I want that bad boy. That thing is amazing. So we've really hit the ground running as far as this episode. Now the trajectory of the story is really picking up. We have the detective chasing down this killer and having her eyes on Jake. She also found out that her son has a podcast and has potentially been using some of her investigations in his podcast. We have rising tension from Junior and his dad, as Devon Sawa's character showed a little bit darker side. We of course have Chucky now terrorizing Lexi and Jake. Lexi now knowing that Chucky is a murderer. And don't forget, we had little Andy calling Jake in that first episode. So we still have Andy to come back. We still have Tiffany to come back. There is a lot to happen in the subsequent episodes. I think it's a 10-episode series, so we still have 6 episodes. So it's about to get crazy, guys. Let me know what you thought of this episode, because it's really heating up here, guys. So drop your comments down below. Let me know what you've been thinking of the show so far, and I think we're done here, guys. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Me and Chucky will see you in the next one. See ya.